What's up, guys? Welcome to another very special episode of Critical Points. I am your host, Legacy, and today we are talking to CycloneGG members. Say what's up, guys.
Yo, what's up?
Going on?
So we got Logic and Renavka on the line. So Cyclone was in the COPS community a few months ago. They left, and everyone was kind of excited to see that they came back. Kind of talk us through and walk us through how that process began and how you guys got to that today.
So basically, Snowly was good friends with one of the CEOs of Cyclone, and he asked them if they were looking for another critical ops team. And that's really how it came to place.
Okay, was there like a lot of negotiation, or did they just basically they already kind of knew your guys' past, and they're like, all right, great, this is another great opportunity.
Yeah, they knew that most of the players were from former Team Ascent, so they knew it was a good team, and they knew there was a lot of experienced players in the team.
Okay. So the EU side of the competitive scene is rapidly gaining more orgs. Do you guys contribute that to the fact that the teams generally stick together for a good period of time, or is there just something else that the NA side just doesn't get?
I'd say it's really teams. It's a mixture of both. In NA, it's a very different mindset to the game. Obviously, in EU, we're a little bit more we're closer. I've personally have been on the NA scene and on the EU scene, and I can honestly say that on the EU scene, there's a sense of family. Like on the NA scene, there's always a lot of tension between different teams, but on the EU scene, there's just a community between the teams. Like it's a familiar sort of thing. So it really helps when we're coming competitive, where there's no real beef, so there's nothing really to prove. It's just fun, more or less. And also, we do stick together. There's not a concept of leaving one team and joining another in really rapid succession.
Okay, so you guys have mentioned that you're a lot of members formerly of AAS. I'm looking at
No, Ascent.
Oh, Ascent.
No, not
yeah,
AAS.
Ascent.
Ascent.
And I'm looking at your starting five. So you got Snowly, Impact, Untouchable, Hulk, and Crime. And then the leadership and management is Impact, Logic, Snowly, and Renavka. How long have you guys been playing together collectively?
So Snowly and Hulk and Impact have been playing for a long time now, and me, Snowly, and Hulk and the others have mostly been playing since probably when we played Forward Assault and then decided to come back to Critical Ops 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Oh, yeah. We used to be in a team for Forward Assault called XI Redemption. That's really how I got introduced to the bunch, the Forward Assault team. Yeah.
So half of the team was made from the Forward Assault team, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So, what's it like to be representing an org like CycloneGG? Do they? Is there any great benefits to it, or is it just that prestige of being under an org?
Well, I'm just going to talk about how it's like from the administrative side. There's no real disconnection. In some organizations, you feel like the leadership team doesn't really talk with the players a lot. They don't really get to discuss with the players and know how it's going. But with Cyclone, there's a real familial sense where we're close to them. It's like we're in the same team, under the same organization, fighting the same name instead of they're just a business that controls us. It's different with Cyclone.
And how long have you guys been with Cyclone now? It's been about a month.
It's been
now?
a week, probably.
A week?
I think.
Okay.
A little bit more than a week.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than a week.
So, is there any pressure on your team to compete well in any of the upcoming cups, or is it just kind of see how it goes?
I mean, we expect to do good, but as pretty new team, we're building chemistry right now and just trying to learn each other's play styles and play better as a team together.
Okay, and are you guys signed up for any of the upcoming tournaments such as IWL2 or the Autumn Cup by Valiance?
Yeah, we've signed up for the Autumn Cup and IWL too.
Okay, nice. So, obviously, heavy hitters in the EU side. You got Nova, Kings, Elevate, you guys. So, do you guys scrim like in the NA side? Like it's constantly top tier teams scrimming top tier teams. Is that the same on the EU side?
Yeah, it's very similar on the EU side. The top tier teams will mostly just scrim the top tier teams. Been scrimming Nova a lot recently. We scrim Elevate every now and then. And,
Oh, I forgot to
teams just
mention
usually
Set to
quite-
Destroy as well. Set to Destroy is up there as well. So,
Yeah, they're up there.
um, what would you guys like from a unbiased opinion? Just forming recently, building the chemistry. Do you guys think you can go deep into the Autumn Cup and possibly take out some of the potential heavy hitters?
I mean, we're a new team still, so there's a lot more experienced teams in the tournament. But I think we can do good and maybe upset some teams actually.
Mm-hmm. I think
We're
it I think
we're
it'd be
looking for a
done.
long run.
You know, it's getting to that group stages, and I believe each time Valiance does a cup, there's literally 50 plus teams from either the NA or EU region. So it's tough to get there, but generally the main teams usually get there, and maybe there's like one team that kind of sneaks in. Do you feel like if you guys defeated Kings or Elevate or Set to Destroy, that other people would consider that an upset, or just it would just be okay? It's a top tier team defeating a top tier team.
I mean,
I think that the players that we have been in the top tier for some time, and we are recognized by EU players as something to be reckoned with. So I wouldn't call it an upset, but it would be a shock to some people.
Okay. Logic, do you have something to say on that?
yeah, I agree on Renevka. Like, we are a known team. There are known players in the team, but as we're a new team and people don't know how we play yet, it's gonna be like shocking if we win better teams for them probably, and for the viewers.
Yeah, but that's also a good thing if people don't know how you play. I mean, obviously you
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
are scrimming them, but I mean, it's that surprise factor because obviously you guys don't want to show all your main strats and scrims. Scrims to me are important to just get information on the other teams. You know, it doesn't scrims are practice. It doesn't matter if you win them, all of them. You know, that's one thing I think that separates better teams from other teams is the top teams understand that scrims are practice and their learning experience. It's not just about, oh, I beat this team. It's about, all right, well, you got information. You know that when you play this team on this map, this is usually their strat on the T side. This is their strat on the CT side. They like to push here. There's a lot of information that you guys can gather. Do you guys watch a lot of rewatch your guys' scrims if you record them and just kind of take notes, or do you just kind of have that internally memorized?
Yeah, every time we do have a tournament or something, we will try to watch the opponents to see what their trends are, how they go. We have something like that where we practice our strats, and we also have a person that we have our own strats set up. So yeah, we do a lot of rewatching. We try to learn from the opponent, see how it goes.
What would it mean for you guys to right out the gates, first major tournament together, and win the Autumn Cup?
It would feel amazing to be honest. Like shock a lot of players and probably ourselves as well, and just get a lot of hype to the team.
I mean, we're hoping for a good run, but like a win would be a real shock for ourselves as well. Of course, we're in it to win it. We want to get the win, but
Yeah, it's a long road. But that's good. You guys stay humble. There's other teams out there that aren't very humble, and I like the mindset that you guys have going forward with this. So a lot of the comp scene has been talking about LANs and potential pro leagues. What are your guys' thoughts on a potential LAN, and how do you think it would be beneficial to be run fairly?
You know, I think, first of all, from the community point of view, a LAN is a great idea because it'll show who stands where, because we're seeing that a lot of NA teams whenever EU teams because they're better on their home servers. But at a point of fairness, it would be a great thing because we would see exactly which team stands where.
Logic?
Yeah, like having a LAN would be good because some players pressure they play better under pressure, and some players perform worse under pressure. So that could also show and have a lot of impact on the tournaments if they're on LAN.
Yeah, LAN definitely puts every player and team on an even keel. There's no ping advantage. You can't use that as an excuse anymore. And I mean, I've been watching the scene for the last year. little less than a year, and I think the EU scene and the comp scene is actually rapidly growing. Not because of the orgs joining, but because of the consistency I've seen in tournaments. Because a lot of the times people just it's NA. You can look on Twitter when I post things. It's always NA this or NA that. But I kind of beg to differ. You know, I've watched a lot of the maps and people forget like on the coin flips. A lot of the times the NA team wins that. So it's definitely the EU side is getting stronger and more competitive, and I kind of think there's the potential for the EU comp scene to take the next couple of majors. Do you guys agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think I agree because in the EU scene, there's this thing where we have a thing. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but what I've seen from the NA scene is after they win something major, they tend to slack off a little and think, you know what, yeah, we've won, let's chill for a little. But in the EU scene, it's always, okay, we won this, but this doesn't mean that we stop our schedule, and we always go back to training and we make sure we're on a Shoutouts at all times.
Now, do you guys have like a practice regiment schedule for like each day or during the week? You guys have like a minimum amount of scrims you'd
Yeah,
like to get in?
we play like all every day around like 8 p.m. our time to like 10 p.m. Like
Yeah.
2 hours of solid practice almost every day.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Central European Standard Time to 10 p.m. Central European Standard Time.
Okay. And do you guys do any other activities together as a team besides COPS, or is it just strictly business once you guys get on?
I guess every now and then we do play a little bit of Forward Assault, just remember the old times, but that's about it.
I mean, we usually relax in the VC before playing, just talking and just talking about like in real life and not critical ops.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because sometimes it's kind of hard to get away from the game. You know, that's your goal and your focus, but it's refreshing to do some other things, talk about other topics and stuff like that.
I mean, our mindset is that if you truly get to know someone outside of the game, you play better with them on the game because, you know, you begin to adapt to them as a person and as a player.
Now, do you guys ever have any epic arguments in VC during like scrims or anything like that? Does your IGL kind of keep it calm and cool and just like keeping the vibe nice? Because I've been in VCs where it's pretty hectic.
I mean, sometimes maybe if stuff that people aren't listening or stuff ain't working out, people get like angry or upset. So like we usually calm ourselves down pretty quickly. Especially me, I usually tell people to just calm down.
Yeah, we do argue a lot sometimes, but we always know that arguing won't really prove anything. We're in this for the greater good, not just doing it for ourselves. So, you know, we calm down ourselves.
Okay, if you had to rank the top 3 EU teams right now, who would you guys put in 1, 2, and 3? Actually, just the top 3. You don't have to do it in specific order.
I would say definitely Elevate and Kings, and then probably Set to Destroy X.
Well, I agree with Logic there. You know, you could make a case for Nova. They have been practicing together a long time. But at the end of the day, Set to Destroy X, they just, yes, SCDX, E8, and Kings.
Okay, that's would probably be my rankings as well. No particular order, but I am actually very excited to see how well you guys do because I think the power struggle in EU is very interesting now. Very interesting now. There's no more like EU NA's one or two teams that are just great. It's a handful of teams, 5 to 8, I'd say. There's probably a few teams in the EU side that are slightly on the edge of mid-tier to top tier that people need to watch out for as well, just like how the NA side now has about 4 teams like that as well. And so
yeah, the majors will from now on be a bit more unpredictable.
Mhm.
And not more,
Yeah, I think majors will have a little bit more interest in them.
yeah.
Because before in majors, EU really just had 4 teams, and it was 4 teams winning everything again and again. But now I'm going to see that there's more teams on each side, so just getting into the top 5 will be a lot of work.
And it's exciting for the competitive scene though because you know people don't always want to see, besides the fans of those teams, they don't always want to see the same 2 teams in the finals. You know, it builds like that natural competitive sports drama like you would see in any other sports like football, soccer, baseball, NBA. So with
And now it's the time to
Go ahead.
And now is basically the time to start putting more practice hours in for like every team, because now is if you're practicing a lot of hours right now, then it will pay off in the tournaments later
Yeah.
against the teams that don't practice as much.
Yeah, right now is not a time to slack off. Like,
Mhm.
if you slack off now, chances are that when you come into the tournaments, you're gonna feel the heat.
And that's another thing too, is like with school back in session, like in the summer, every player, every team was on grinding hard. And now that school's back in session, this is really where it shows who's really dedicated, who really wants this the most, because you really do have to set time aside after doing your schoolwork to focus on playing critical ops.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you guys have the right mindset. 2 to 3 hours a day is good. The people that sit there and play it 8 hours a day, like that's to me is insane. That's literally like a work day.
I
And
mean, they usually don't have like in real life jobs. Most of us either work or go to school, so like we're busy during the day, and later at night, that's when we play together.
mhm, I agree. So comp scene is gonna be great. This next Valiance Cup's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing the future of how this game goes. Is there anything that you guys personally are looking forward to with the 1.0 release and afterwards for the game specifically?
I mean, just being more ready for the esports and competitive. To be honest, just
Yeah, I think that
making better maps.
yeah, I think that now esports is really taking an eye on critical ops. Like before, it was just sort of there, but recently we're beginning to see that other major esports centers are coming in critical ops, and by 1.0, I'm pretty sure it's going to have grown into a very large industry. Like, I mean, I may be wrong, but those are my personal beliefs, and I think that it's exciting. Just waiting up for that, see how big this can get.
Yeah, I think the Valiance Autumn Cup is a big tournament. I think because I think a lot of people will be watching this that we don't know are watching it. Because Valiance does a great job with their cast and everything, and there's definitely rumors of a pro league floating around. So if that happens, everyone needs to be um, they need to be at their top of their game. They got to do their best to, not only show their top team, but also, maybe get value and worth to, hey, if a pro league comes, I want my team in that league. So
Yeah,
that
I mean, that that will really increase competition. They'll give the people who are at the top or sort of slowing down a little, let
mm,
them know exactly how good they have to be, and it will definitely make it a better competitive scene. So, yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah,
now
I agree on that.
if there was a land in NA, would you guys and you guys qualified, would you guys be able to A, travel there, and B, would you like would you want to travel to NA for it?
Well, actually, I think this is a three-part question because there's a part of possibility involved in it as well. A, travel. Yeah, of course, we want to travel. We would want to travel because the land is a big step of the game, and it really shows us. It bonds the team in another way, and it shows us exactly where we stand to everyone. Um, the problem is, it depends on what time the land is. Because if it's in the summers where most of us will be in vacations, then it's probably going to be difficult. Some of these guys have experienced that before with the ESL. For example, Ascent, they were qualified, but because of vacations, they weren't able to go. So if it's in summer when no one's on vacation, we might be able to go. Yes. And in terms of having a LAN team, we're getting that. We have a team that's able to go to that.
Okay, that's great. Now, if it was in EU, where would you guys want it to be? Like, what location is there? Like a historic place you guys would love to like? Oh, I finally played there, kind of place.
I mean,
Definitely.
most of us are from either Germany or France, so like maybe closer to them. But like for me, it doesn't really matter. Depends on the players, to be honest.
I mean, looking at our players, I think the best choice for us would be it's easy travel from to our place.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about Cyclone a little bit here. I kind of want to revert back to them. How is the welcome to the org been as far as like, do you guys get to interact with any of the other teams? I know you said that the owners are really transparent and they communicate with you guys well, but as far as being the kind of the newcomer to Cyclone, how does that feel?
Right after you go.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. we've been talking to some of the other teams. We've not exactly been talking to all of them, getting to know all of them on their personal basis, but we have been talking to them. And it's not like we're some outsiders. We're part of the team. The C's is part of the team. It's sort of like a family. Like we're part of the family.
Okay, Logic, do you have anything on that?
No, I agree. Like we talk to the managers, we talk to the staff, talk to the other players, and try to just learn how they do it as well, so we get some tips that we can adapt into critical ops.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've been really close to the GFX team because I try to work in my GFX, and I've established a pretty good bond with them. So.
Okay. Any tips and tricks you'd like to give semi to lower tier teams that want to get to your guys' level, that have been grinding it out, and that they look up to players in teams either NA, EU, SA, or Asia that are in the top tier? Like, what can you guys give those players as far as advice goes?
Very simple piece of advice: keep your roster solid, and make sure your team has chemistry. Because if we look at all the teams that are top tier right now, they've had a roster going that's been playing with each other for a pretty long time. So if you can get that going, you're probably going to be making yourself doing well.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you have long-term players, it's better for the team, and you get more chemistry. You can work out your team play a lot better, and basically just playing the game consistently and grinding to get better is just the best tip, in my opinion.
That's pretty much all I have for you guys. Is there anything you guys want to specifically touch on that we haven't talked about? Any shout outs or your guys' Twitter? Obviously, I'll put that inside the video as well. You guys can do that now. We'll start with Logic on that.
I mean, I would like to say thanks to Frost from Cyclone, the CEO, and thank you to everyone in Cyclone.
Okay, Renaka?
Yeah, personally, I just want to give a shout out to CTD because he was the one that really brought me to the team. I was managing another team before that's kind of alright on the EU scene, but they have some time to get there. And he offered me a spot in management on Cyclone. And without him, I wouldn't have been here. So thank you very much, CD. And also, of course, Frost, the Cyclone team. Yeah.
Right on. Well, that's all we have for today, guys. Thank you again. I'm Legacy, and this is Renavka and Logic from Team Cyclone saying peace.